Hey there, and welcome to This Note. Whether you're looking to launch the next big SaaS startup, kick off a really lucrative freelance web development career, or honestly, just wrap your head around how the modern digital economy actually works, well, it all starts right here. I am super thrilled to be your mentor today. Think of this session as your masterclass in digital real estate. We're going to break down the invisible machinery of the web and turn all that complex code into clear, highly actionable knowledge. So let's dive right in.
Think about this for a second. Every single day, billions of people use the internet. We shop, we learn, we build incredible businesses. But actually, less than 1% of those people understand the massive, high-speed relay race that spans the globe every single time they type a URL and hit enter. In those 2 tiny seconds, your browser is basically orchestrating a masterclass in global logistics, connecting to servers, retrieving files, rendering code. And understanding this 2-second magic trick, that's your very first step to shifting from just being a consumer of the internet to becoming a true creator and an earner within it.
Here is a quick look at our syllabus for this note. We'll kick things off with the value of the web and the anatomy of a website, then map out the 5-step web journey. From there, we'll demystify Frontend, Backend, and data, look ahead at AI and future technologies, and wrap it all up with a practical blueprint to build, launch, and monetize.
All right, let's jump straight into part 1, the value of the web.
Before we can veld, we really need to get our terms straight. Now, you hear people use the internet and the web interchangeably all the time, right? But they are actually completely different things. The internet is the physical infrastructure, the massive global network of underground cables and server farms. The World Wide Web, on the other hand, is the system of linked websites and resources that we navigate using browsers over that physical network. To put it simply, the internet is the highway, and the web is the fleet of delivery trucks, businesses, and billboards built on top of it.
Moving right along to Section 2, Anatomy of a Website. We're going to reframe how you look at a web page.
If your goal is to build wealth or launch a business online, you are quite literally building digital real estate. And it really helps to break this down into 3 pillars. First up, their domain name. That is your street address. It's exactly how customers find you. Second, web hosting. You can think of this as the physical plot of land you rent on the internet just to store your files. And third, your CMS, or content management system, and your code. That's the actual structure of your house or storefront. It dictates exactly how your business looks, how it functions, and how it serves the people who visit. Okay, part 3, the 5-step web journey. Let's look at the mechanical breakdown of a website visit. So how does this build on our real estate analogy? Well, when a customer wants to visit your digital storefront, they trigger this crazy 5-step global relay race. First, they enter a web address. Second, a DNS lookup happens to find your specific server. Third, a secure server connection is made. Fourth, the server actually processes the request. And finally, step 5, the web page is rendered on the user's screen. If you can wrap your head around these 5 steps, you can troubleshoot almost any website error, you can optimize your loading speeds, and you can build absolutely robust digital products. Let's zoom in on steps 1 and 2 for a second. When you type in a URL with HTTP or HTTPS, your computer honestly has no idea where mybusiness.com actually lives. It needs the exact IP address. And that is where the DNS, or domain name system, comes to the rescue. It acts like the internet's phonebook. Your browser queries the DNS, asking its recursive resolvers and authoritative name servers to translate that friendly, human-readable domain name into a clunky string of numbers, a machine-readable IP address. Amazingly, this massive global phonebook lookup happens in just milliseconds. And once it gets that IP address, it knows exactly which server on the planet is holding your website. All right, on to step 3, the server connect. Once the browser actually finds the server, they basically have to shake hands. But in today's digital economy, that handshake absolutely must be secure, especially if you're processing payments or handling sensitive user data. Modern business relies on TCP/IP to establish a connection, sure, but more importantly, it relies on HTTPS encryption and SSL or TLS certificates. These certificates essentially act like a digital passport. They prove your site's identity and encrypt the communication, ensuring that any data passed back and forth remains completely locked down and private from hackers. Now, the real magic happens next in steps 4 and 5. The server receives that highly secure request, authenticates the user, processes all your business logic, and gathers whatever data it needs from the database. It then compresses all those files and fires them back over to the user's browser. Which brings us to step 5, rendering. The browser takes that raw data and constructs the visual layout. It uses HTML for the core structure, CSS for the gorgeous designs and layouts, and JavaScript to make the whole page interactive.
And just like that, in mere milliseconds, raw code is transformed into a fully functioning digital storefront. Which brings us nicely to Section 4, Front-End, Backend, and Data. It is time to step into the engine room.
If you are planning to hire a dev team, or maybe start freelancing yourself, or build a SaaS app, you absolutely have to know this divide. Front-end development is entirely focused on the user interface. It's what the visitor actually sees and clicks on. We're talking HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and making sure the site looks flawless on both a tiny mobile phone and a massive desktop monitor. Backend development, however, well, that's the invisible brain of the whole operation. It's the servers, the APIs, user authentication, and the complex business logic that determines exactly how the site works behind the scenes. And right smack in the middle of that backend is the database. I like to think of the database as the long-term memory of the internet. Without databases, websites would literally just be static, boring brochures. Databases are what allow you to securely store user accounts, manage huge e-commerce inventories, process customer orders, and save every single comment or blog post. They are the absolute essential component that makes dynamic, personalized digital experiences and, frankly, highly profitable web businesses possible in the first place.
Let's look ahead for a minute with Section 5, AI and future technologies. The web is evolving incredibly fast, and artificial intelligence, well, it's definitely not just a buzzword anymore. It is being hardwired directly into website architecture to drive serious efficiency and revenue. We're seeing AI chatbots handling 24/7 automated customer support, which saves businesses thousands in overhead. We're seeing hyper-personalized user recommendations that skyrocket e-commerce sales, incredibly smart search capabilities, and even automated content and image generation happening completely on the fly. But understanding how the front end, back end, and databases connect, you are perfectly positioned to easily plug these powerful AI tools directly into your own digital real estate. And finally, we arrive at Section 6, build, launch, and monetize. Let's make this actionable. Let's take all this incredible theory and turn it into a concrete blueprint. Here is your beginner's launch checklist. First up, register a clean, memorable domain and invest in reliable hosting so your business is always online. Second, immediately secure that SSL certificate. Remember, trust is literally currency on the web. Third, you absolutely must ensure a mobile responsive design and hyper-fast loading speeds, because slow sites lose customers instantly. Next, build out your essential pages like your About, Contact, and Privacy policy. And finally, configure your basic SEO and install analytics so you can actually track your traffic and start optimizing for conversions. So there you have it. We've walked through the entire journey, from the exact moment a user hits enter, through the massive DNS phonebook, past those highly secure server handshakes, right down into the databases and cutting-edge AI systems that power the modern web. You are no longer just a spectator clicking around the internet, right? You now possess the exact architectural blueprint used by top developers and tech entrepreneurs all over the world. The tools are all there, the infrastructure is waiting for you. So now that you know exactly how the digital world operates behind the scenes, what are you going to build?